Cool, Brad. So here we are on the first interview video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a few questions. I think it's very good for the audience. What they see is they see the weekly updates and they see your daily videos and they see educational content, but it's good to have someone ask you questions and then get your answers. So it's just good to have a new perspective on who you are and your story and what you're busy with. So it's always good to chat with you. So let's get straight into it, Brad. Let's go. Cool, man.
All right,
So
let's rock on.
cool. So the first section that I just want to focus on is your personal journey. I think that's also something that a lot of people are curious about. They read that on your website. There's a lot of content. If you go scroll down on your YouTube, you can go to older content where there's like deeper insights on who you are and what you've done for banks and institutional trading. But I think it's good just to recap on that and just ask a few questions and get your answers.
Cool, man.
Cool
Let's do it.
stuff. So, Brad, the first question is, what first inspired you to enter the world of finance? Was there a defining moment that set you on this path?
Yeah, okay, Shark. It's an interesting one, right? And I think through these questions, people will understand that, I'm just like everyone else. Always in the search of new endeavours and new things, trying to work out how to trade the markets. But my background is not too dissimilar to a lot of people. I was just fortunate enough to meet the right people at the right time, be in the right place at the right time and get started. So when it comes down to what inspired me to enter the world of finance, it was actually almost by chance, if not by mistake.
Yeah.
I was a very, elite sports person. Represented the country in junior cricket and rugby, senior rugby. And through those endeavours, I actually, the guys in my team, half of them were playing for the Australian team, the Wallabies. So I grew up in working in hotels and pubs and things,
Yeah.
So I came across a huge, broad range of people. So you could easily speak to someone that was, came from a low socioeconomic background to someone that came from extreme wealth, and that's just something that happens if you do associate with both sides of the fence. But what it was through that, my parents own the hotels and things, but I was led into like gambling, if anything, as a kid.
Yes.
Which is part of the family culture. We would go to the horse races, the greyhounds, anything.
Yeah.
You'd be sort of, and I became very astute at actually reading form guides and actually hunting, as in like on the horses and things like that. So I had from an early age, I had a pretty good risk appetite.
Yeah.
Until there's always a knee jerk. Something happens, and then I did have a bad day on the horses when I was about 13 or 14, which just changed my perspective on some of that. But one thing was I was playing with one guy in the centres who was probably the treasurer of Citibank in Sydney. So he and I we were sort of having a chat. I went to university in Ireland. I was the first sporting scholarship person at UCD in Dublin. On a rugby scholarship, and then I came back and I was talking to this guy, and I said, "Listen," he goes, have you got a job yet? Have you finished your degree?" And I said, "Yeah, I finished my economics degree." And he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "You know what? I'm not really sure."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't you run the bank? Aren't you sort of like in charge?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I guess I do. Yeah, I do." And I said, "Well, there must be something in there that I could do." Just sort of joking, right? And he said, "You know what? Leave it with me and I'll come back to you." But this is a stage where, back in the 80s where, sport was pretty tough and everything was going pretty good. University lifestyle was I could have fitted in very nicely with the leisure parts of university lifestyle, a few parties, lots of everything going on. But what I used to do is there was one day we were playing one of the top two teams. The team I played for, Sydney University, is the third oldest rugby club in the world, so it's got a deep history. I was betting on the games,
Oh, wow.
like just to make extra, and not like, well, not betting as in like crazy, but you know, there'd be some guys that you'd meet sort of here and there that would go, oh, you know, I was the youngest guy in the team by about 12 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't have much cash. What I used to do.
On that point, did you also have like a system with the gambling, or did you just like shoot it out of the thumb?
Oh no, it was it was clinical, right?
Or?
If I could control the outcome, so to speak, and it's pretty hard to do in a game environment. But I was always super confident in the team, in myself, and what we were going to do, right?
Yep.
So it comes down to a number of different factors, and this sort of leads into actually the structure of your trading. But you've got to be, if you've got pretty good understanding of what the outcome is and how likely it's going to happen, then you jump on it. So the other team had half the other Australian team. So we were playing, neither of us had been beaten, 14 games, 20,000 people at the stadium, massive team talk. And I was about to run out. I said, guys, and this is a true thing. I said that, like, everyone's doing all these pump up speeches, and I was like, okay, guys, listen, before we go out, I've got $500 on this game, and I've only got $100 in the bank. And they all looked at me like, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing? Like, anyway, they said, we're going to talk about this at the end of the game. That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
And we all ran out. Yeah. We won by like 2 points. I scored a couple of tries, and they came off and said, okay, there's no more gambling on the games.
Yes.
That's number one. And it was, and I ended up having to take the whole team out for dinner, which cost me about $700. They went, hopefully that teaches you the lesson. There's no gambling on the games, which I was like, I wasn't doing it to like go crazy. I just wanted to, get a few bucks to do a few things. But from that came the moment where he goes, okay, you know what? You are a little bit crazy. You've got a crazy risk appetite. You're an elite sports person. You can handle pressure. He said, I've got a job for you, and it's going to be right up your alley.
Okay.
And he said, look, and I play a fair bit of golf. He said, you go and play golf for the next 2 months, because after that, you're working and you won't get much time for golf or anything. And I said, what am I going to be doing? And he goes, don't worry. This is, your personality is a perfect match for this job. Which was, when I walked into the bank, I ended up having 6 different interviews, but the job was trading on the Forex trading team.
Okay.
And it was like a duck to water. I was there. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I felt like I was at home on day one. Okay. But and then 35 years later, I'm still doing it. So that's amazing. That was, so it's probably through my sport and where that defining moment came from.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's an awesome story. I think also, one thing that you said was the confidence. You had that confidence since you were young. And that's something powerful. I think that's also something that's very important, especially in the trading space, and it can be dangerous as well, like the confidence, but confidence brings some power. So it's good to cultivate confidence wherever you are in your life. You have to cultivate confidence and be confident in whatever you do. So that's amazing, because I think that's what, like, that attracts things to you, is like confidence in the way you speak. So that's an awesome, like, starting point. And to your story, I've never heard that side of the story yet. So that's cool.
It's interesting, right? I know, and it's so I sort of like just knocking about with my mates and doing things like that. But it's about self-belief. Yep. That comes from a bit of knowledge, skill, a lot of your upbringing as well. Yep. It's just, and it is huge. As it turned out, that became one of my dominating factors in my trading at the bank. I had massive self-belief. Yep. And you come into that sort of fraternity, some people can get mistaken and think it's just ego. Yeah. Right? Yeah. To be a trader in an organisation, you do have to have an ego, but it's a lot about self-belief. Yep. And some people think an egomaniac it's just overconfidence, but you've got to be that tough and be your best friend to trade, because you're going to have losses, you're going to have big downs, ups, big swing, and if you're not in control of your own sort of confidence levels, then you can't deceive yourself. You can't go, I'm really confident 100%. With this is great. No, this is something that you earn through whether it's taking the courses or experience.
100%. Repetition and digging deeper.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Now that's very insightful. Thanks, Brad. So I've got another question for you over here. What's something about working at top banks that most people don't know but would be surprised to learn? I think this could be an interesting one.
I tell you what, it's a myth, right? Yep. About the trading teams at the banks. They don't sit there in front of the screens and trade all day.
Yeah.
That's a massive myth. They trade when they have to, and if they're conducting sort of transactions for different corporates and these things, or just doing a proprietary trade themselves, they aren't trading all day. But the one thing is, not all the guys in the banks make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? Out of a team of, say, 20 or 30 traders, you probably have 5 elite traders.
Yeah.
Then you've got like 10 or 15 intermediate, and then you'll have 10 small guys. And I'm talking like some of them would trade just as small as people sitting at home.
So the levels of trading in the banks, is it just the amount of money that you get to trade with, or what's the levels?
Basically, yeah. You're in control of your destiny. So if you make a lot of good money, they increase your limits.
Okay.
If you don't get to that stage, you stay at the small stuff.
Okay.
So, and what they're looking to do is diversify the team, right?
Okay.
They don't want 20 big hitters, because if those 20 hitters have a bad day, the place falls.
Yeah, it stinks.
But if you've got 5, out of that 5, there's probably like 3 or 2 will be a bit of balance.
Yep.
But if those 5 guys don't have a good day, the other 25 guys, between the small and intermediate guys, will make up the difference.
Got you.
The small to intermediate guys have less bigger up and less down days.
Okay.
But they balance things out.
Yeah.
If the top 5 guys make money, the thing just goes mental. Right? Okay. You make a lot of money. So the thing is, the trading teams are set up, and this is the other thing too. You'd be surprised to know they do not share how they trade between each other.
Okay, so they've got do they have their own systems and their own philosophies on how they trade, and they keep it to themselves?
Basically, when you're trained, you sit next to a senior guy, right? And you might sit next to him for a year. Then they'll put you next to another senior guy, and then another one, and you take bits and pieces out of them if you've got the knowledge to do it. But they do not generally share different skills.
Okay.
Like they won't. One guy might be unbelievable execution, and the other guy better at technical analysis. And you're like, hang on, I'll take both of these parts here and put them together. That's what I was doing. I was smart enough to extract components out of traders, whether it was in Sydney, London, or New York. And having, this is the thing about being successful, have an open mind. You can always get better. And I've been doing this for 35 years, and I can still get better. And it's by learning from traders, observing what they're doing, and bringing that together.
I can never think that you know the secret. You've got a winning system, but you're always open to learn more, and like the journey is never over.
Oh, and if you don't have that perspective, you are on a short time span to sort of being out of the game.
I think the best way to say that is you're fucked.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool, Brad. That was good. Thanks so much, man. Okay, the next question is, how has your experience at big banks shaped your approach to personal trading? So now that you've been at the banks and you're trading now, and you're still, like, obviously, you're trading on your own, and you've got your mentorship, you've got Primetime Pro, you've got AI trading, you've got all these systems. How did the institutional bank side of things shape what you do now?
Well, I guess it gives you the luxury, right, to have a lot of experience around a lot of different events, around a lot of different currencies, around everything. So you know and understand how the market works. So I understand exactly, and this is where people who haven't got any experience sort of rely on someone like me to tell them, it's like, you don't need to sit in front of the screens all day. This is like, that doesn't transpire into better outcomes. In fact, it actually makes them worse. Right? You can't see the forest for the trees, fatigue, emotions. You have all these things, right? So the hardest thing for the traders, the banks, is the bigger you get, the deeper you get into the abyss of the markets. And I'm talking about big nights out, every night of the week, it just becomes the party zone, right? And you can
yeah.
lose track of yourself, what you're doing. A lot of guys get divorced. I'd say 90%, if not higher. It's not a happy zone, to be honest.
Would
After
you
a
say
big
it's
career,
because of everything that's going on, the big money, like you're trading with millions of dollars, you've got a winning day, you've got that rush, you've got to get it out, and then you've got a losing day, and it's the dip. It's not just work, it gets personal.
Oh, massive. And this is where guys, fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
Generally it's about, if you make it over 10 years on a trading desk, you've done well.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm there sort of almost 18 years. It's because the fatigue of the pressure, of the days out, you get called 24/5. They call you in the middle of the night. Don't forget, go back in the day without all the, mobile phones and tech.
Yeah.
So when it hit certain levels, they would just call you on the phone, and you were expected to answer.
Yeah.
So, and you might get 5 calls every night for like 15 years, and you're like, you never sleep properly. You don't. It's quite draining, right?
That's
so,
crazy.
What you learn from all of that experience, how I put that into my personal trading was, I started looking at the market, and this is where our trade execution tools came in. I'm like, okay, there's one person here. I used to have like a crew next to me that could do multiple executions. I would focus on, say, the euro. I'd have guys on euro yen, euro CAD, euro Aussie. And like we could hit the market at once. But when you're by yourself, you need to be able to execute properly. So I actually designed tools that would help me execute better, right? Because some of the, like MetaQuotes isn't a great trading platform.
So
it allows you to build things into it, but it's not awesome.
Sorry, Brad. Did you actually, while you were at the banks, you had you designed systems for your own bank trading, or was this outside of?
No, this is outside the bank, because inside the bank the systems don't integrate much. They're all custom built, right? Yeah. And there are some things that we could sort of get the tech guys to build, but it was more around performance analysis than execution. Yeah. So you've got stock standard equipment that you need to be able to hit, and you buy and sell. This isn't like at the banks. This is the other thing as well. You execute everything manually. Yeah. There's no we just hit a button and it does it all for you. Yeah. You're constantly hitting buttons, and it was like, trying to orchestrate like a show. It was always, you had so many things to know. So it would take a couple of years to execute, to learn how to execute, because you had voice brokers, you had to hit buttons, you had to tell them all to sell, buy, different levels. You had to listen. We had to have 12 or 15 different different speakers yelling out prices, right? Crazy. So you'd be sitting there concentrating, and you'd know exactly which ones to hit at the right time. So it's like playing the piano, but you're listening to conversations over here, you're listening to the brokers, you're watching the news. You become very adept at listening to about 6 conversations at once and still listening to the market. So that skill was like that's just time. Yeah. Right. And that's something you don't need to do. So you don't need to hear a lot of that. Yeah. So with personal trading, and especially when it comes to Prime Time Pro, I know the specific market setups, and I'm always thinking about how can I make it easier for myself and more efficient. I know the setups that I would execute on, and that's where I sort of started building tools to make sure that, so I don't have to sit in front of the screens all day. Yeah. So I think the experience of the banks gave me the benefit to understand how the market works efficiently, how you don't need to bust your balls to be at the screens all day, what big numbers are important, which ones aren't, how to avoid at the release of those big numbers, and then basically just once you've got a trade on, let the plan ride. Let it let market, the market does the work for you. You don't do the work. The market.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of traders get it wrong. They try to control the market and make the market do what they want the market to do. And I think that's something that you obviously you learned the hard way.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? You can't make the market. Well, if you're in the banks, you can make it move briefly because you can go a bit mad. But what a lot of people mistaken is they have a day off, right? Might be Tuesday. I've got a day off work. They go, I'm going to trade Tuesday.
Yeah.
How do you know when Tuesday's a good trading day? Yeah. How do you know what the markets are doing? And how do you, like, you can walk into a day just because it's your day off doesn't mean the market's going to give you the cash.
100%.
So the experience in the banks allows you to know that. So you trade, you just be consistent with your approach. Sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, or you see the right setup and you put the trade on. You don't sit there and just turn over 100 trades hoping for the best, because that's the market. After working in the banking industry for a long time, that's not how the markets work.
Yep.
They turn on when they're ready, not when you're ready.
Yep, that's amazing. Thanks so much, Brad. That's I think this is very valuable. I think this is going to be very valuable for people as well. I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this as well.
Well, it's just good to share some of this stuff, because it's what it will do is it will just show people that I'm like everyone else, but I've had a bit of a career in this, so I can actually share the outlooks. I've got family, I've got commitments and things I've got to be at, and that so I think it should resonate with a lot of people.
I'm 100% confident about that. Okay, Brad, the next section that I'm going to get into is lessons for retail traders. I think this is something that a lot of people want to hear about, especially retail traders. Like, obviously, not a lot of people have had the experience that you had, and there's a lot of traders these days trading on their own, failing on their own, losing, blowing accounts, and they don't get the correct information on YouTube, on other platforms. So it's good to just hear your perspective. Obviously, someone that did this professionally, traded millions of dollars. What was the most profits that you made in 1 year? I think it was like 60 plus mil.
Yeah, 60. I mean, over the course of my career, over 60 mil. It was, and that's sort of, it's one of those numbers. You're right. On a lot of these channels, you do hear about all these big numbers. Yeah. At that time, though, you have the luxury of a lot of experience. Yeah. You've got access to a huge amount of capital. Yep. And so it makes the numbers. If anything, it probably should have been more. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah, yeah. But you have there's issues when you start trading so massive with execution. You lose control of the market and the position. Yeah. So you do have some big down days, but that's it's not hard to generate cash if you've got a plan, right? So this is where I guess these next questions will come into play, because that's the key to it. 100%. The key to your mindset is the plan.
100%, Brad. Okay, so the first question is, what's one practice or mindset from institutional trading that retail traders often overlook but could greatly benefit from?
It's okay. So this is like the mindset is you've got to be your own best friend, right? Because and you've got to have and be honest with yourself. Yeah. If you don't know what's happening, be honest. So I don't know what's happening. Yeah. So what you need to be able to do is look yourself in the mirror and say, this is the plan. If I don't know what's going on, I don't get involved. Yep. If I do know what's going on, let's look for the clinical plan to come into play. Yeah. And that's looking for clear technical levels, the fundamental direction. Put those together. Now, can I get in? Here's my capital, and then you stick to the plan. So one practice you need to be able to do, and this connects with your mindset, is you need a strong plan that works and resonates with you. Yeah. This is why sort of sometimes just copying a trader or what you think they're doing doesn't work for people, because that plan, that structure resonates with them. Yeah. So now we do show people plans and these sorts of things. What you need to do is adopt it to yourself. Yep. Now that will usually mean probably a different capital size, but the plan can work for you as long as you understand what you're doing and you behave sort of true to yourself. Yeah. Right? You don't try and think, okay, I want to be this big trader at a big bank. Yeah. Like the guys there, you've just got to be clinical and precise and honest. Yeah. Right? With yourself, because that mindset, if you've got a plan that you put into play, your job, this is the whole structure of trading. Your job is to find the opportunity. Yeah. The market's job is to give you the cash. Yep. So that's one practice would be develop a plan that you are confident with, that allows you to put your trade into play with confidence, and that flows directly into your mindset of, okay, plan's in play, my job is done, now I sort of monitor things. So the traders overlook this, like retail traders, they overlook it all the time. They're in such a hurry to make the money, they forget about the plan. So they change the plan outcomes. If they get a bad outcome, they change it 100% to something different, and then back again. And then they think, well, I don't know enough. And then you can get in the rabbit hole of YouTube or something else, and next thing you know, you're completely lost. We get traders come back to us and go, wow, what you do as far as the simplicity of technical and fundamental analysis, that makes sense. I'm like, 100% it does. That's how it works. So retail traders overlook the importance of the plan. Right? Keeps your feet on the ground and your mindset clear to make the decision to buy or sell and when to do it.
I think another thing that a lot of retail traders also miss is they just follow anyone. Like they just see an ad of someone with a Lambo, or they see a YouTube video of someone that said they made this amount of money, but it's actually a demo account, like fake things. And then they get into this course, and they get into that course, and they get into that course, and nothing works. And then they feel like, oh, this must be a scam. How can these people make money individually via Forex?
This is the problem, right? People, marketing people and the like, know the retail traders want to make money, right? So if they've got that want, they can easily pitch a story to them to get them on.
Invest.
Right? And there's a gazillion bad trading stories out there that are quite harrowing to hear. People have saved up their life savings, etc., and lost it all because they're in such a hurry to make money. They forget about, okay, what's the level of experience the person I'm talking to?
Exactly.
Lambo. If you see a Lambo, I'd say if you see a Lambo, run for the hills.
And I think a lot of people don't do their research on the guru or the mentor or whoever is selling them the course. So it's very important for people, especially those looking, to do their research before actually investing into a course or into even Forex robots and all that type of things. They're so, 90% of it is bullshit, and then you've got the 10% that you actually have to dig for. So when you find something and someone that you know has got experience, someone that can show something for it that's not a Lambo or a mansion that's probably hired, but like someone that actually had that experience, that professional experience, they have to hold on to that and follow that system.
Yeah, that's right. Trading is simple. People overcomplicate it with crazy systems, crazy structure. That's why we've always said, or I've always said, follow the guys at the banks. They control the volume in the market, know when they execute, know when they make decisions and how they make decisions. Then you're trading with the market, not against it.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean you make money every day. It just means you're probably not trading every day. And for some people, that is like, oh my God, are you serious? We're not trading every day. And I'm like, you're not. Like, you might do a couple of trades a week, and that's the more money you make, the less trades you need. 100%. Because you're trading bigger. But this is the problem. The more trades you place, the more chance there is for something to go wrong. So retail traders don't have much money. They do the most number of trades. And it's like, you are actually feeding the market. So there's, and a lot of them, this is another problem for retail traders in the sense of, I hear it a lot. Once I make, say, 20 grand, I'm going to slow it down and go back to like what you're saying. I can tell you, they get 20 grand, they blow up because they cannot change their behavior.
They're still in that quick money mindset. Like, I've got $100, I have to turn it into $10,000 in a month. Obviously, like you said, the bigger the capital, the more you can make profit. Like, the more profits you can make with lower risk. But going from 100 to $10,000 in a month, that's just selling a dream.
Well, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of dreamers out there, and they've got some money, so people will reach into their pockets and take that cash and then send them their way, sorry, but you just didn't work out,
Okay, cool, Brad. So I've got another question over here. Okay, I think we already Actually, the myth, we already did that, covered that. Okay, so here's another question. For someone starting in trading today, what's the most critical first step they should take to set themselves up for success?
Okay, so this is where sort of your knowledge of the markets and all this sort of stuff should get pushed aside. It's more around, like, the first step is understanding how much cash you've got to use and what trade size you're going to have. Right, that determines everything. Right from the very start, and this is why a lot of traders are unsuccessful, because they don't even think about it. Capital management is the key to sort of everything. It's the key to the structure of how the banks operate, how they set budgets and limits and everything. It's all done through the capital. So if I'm a new trader straight out of university, I don't give me as much limits as the guy that's been trading for 10 years. You start off small. It's a system. Start off small with the capital that you can manage and that you can handle losing trades. Right. The more you know, the less losing trades you'll have. But it comes down to capital, and it's the most critical thing that any trader can needs is to work out, I've only got 10 grand to use. So so if someone's making, and if you're talking to someone on YouTube and he's like, I've just made 25 grand, you're like, I want to do that today. It's like, no, you haven't earned the right to do that yet. You're over here, you're making 750 bucks. That's you.
That's very true.
But if you stick to the plan, you will be making that in, say, 3 to 6 months. So that's the most critical step, is understand what access to cash you've got, because if you do that, it takes off the pressure of trading, because otherwise, if you're trading too big, you're one trade away from losing everything, and that you can't trade from that because you're emotional, and that will disrupt your decision-making process, when you get in, where you get out, what you trade, all these things, and you'll be shitting yourself the whole time.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of people shitting themselves all the time.
Well, they put the trade on, right? This is what they do. Because when you place a trade, there's a spread. As soon as you place a trade, you're in the negative. And they will go, oh my God, this is too intense. And they close the position out. And they're like, here we go again. Oh my God. And all they do is just panic. Turn them, like slowly bleed their account. They panic. They don't trust or believe in what they're doing. And it just comes down to capital. You just go, you know what? It's like going to the horses. I've got $200 to bet on this race. And that's it. You're going to go put your whole couple of grand on the race.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Brad. Thanks for that. I think that's. I think we've covered a few powerful topics over here. So the next section that I want to get into is challenges and growth. And the first question over there is: the trading world evolves rapidly. How do you stay ahead of market trends and changes?
Okay, so you don't need to be watching the market every day, but you sort of do need to sort of know what's going on. How I do it is, I've subscribed to Metastock. I've got access to like international news, all the economic numbers. I can see what's happening in the market.
Can you give me, Brad? Can you just give me a little bit of more information on Metastock?
Okay, so it's a news and analysis platform, right? And this is the platform that every trader at all the banks use to keep up to speed with what's going on. So it is hugely important for your daily decision-making process. And if you haven't got access to something like that, and it's like $99 or $100 a month, right? So if you don't have access to that, how do you know what's going on? If you see sterling sort of falling rapidly, you're like, well, I wonder what's going on there. If you don't have access to a news service, you may find out in 24 hours time, but that's too late. So you need access to professional market data and analysis. If you know how to read the market, this is the thing about understanding the markets, how they interact, right? The correlations between, so the equity markets, the currency markets, and the bond markets, right? There's a clear relationship there that you need to understand. If you do see, say, the bonds going up, like we see at the moment, US Treasuries going up, what impact does that have? Well, that's a stronger dollar. Okay, so you're looking to sell euro, sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, you're looking to sell indices. Yeah, no, so just sort of staying ahead of the market. So there's a couple of things. You just need to know how the markets connect, okay? Equities, bonds, and Forex.
Yep.
And once you understand that general relationship, you can actually easily work out very quickly where the pressure point is.
Yeah.
What's causing the markets to move, what sort of news it is, and where that news is coming from. And that's, you've got to be able to recognize good market conditions.
Yeah.
So how you stay ahead is of the trends and changes. The market doesn't change. How the markets move hasn't changed.
Yeah.
What you do see is short-term periodic events that can disrupt the market, and it discombobulates. You need to be able to recognize that, to stand back and let that discombobulation pass.
Yeah.
Then you come back to the market. So it's just about knowledge, understand how the markets work, where you fit into the scheme of things, which is small fry.
Yeah.
And you can look at the market each day with a professional trading platform like MetaStock.
Yep.
Right? It's so powerful, and people underestimate it for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing with MetaStock is the data releases. Like there's a lot of free like Forex Factory and all that with data release, but it's delayed, where MetaStock is instant. Every bank around the world uses MetaStock.
Yeah, like if you've got a service that's posting the data like a minute late, that's like 10 hours too late.
Yeah.
Even 30 seconds late is like you've missed it, right? Okay. So that's the real time is important. Otherwise, what's the point of even sort of looking at it? Doesn't mean you have to trade all the numbers, but just being able to make decisions before and after a decision comes out can be instrumental in your performance.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, Brad. So the next question is, trading can be as much about psychology as strategy. What habits or practices have helped you build mental resilience?
Okay, so I'd actually say psychology is more important than the strategy itself. But so what habits or practices have helped me build mental resilience? Now it's like clinical, right? You've just got to have. So there's a combination of things, and this comes back down to the psychology part and how much you understand about the market or whatever you're doing. There's a lot of self-belief that you've got to hit the market. Like there's no second guessing in this game, especially when the markets are busy, the banks, and you're trading huge amounts. You've just got to go, this is it. Like the currency hasn't even moved yet. Are you going to be the one to push it? And when I was in London, this is where I really stood out. Because it was like, I just believed so much that what I knew was right. Yeah. And this is not about everything, but when certain situations happen, that I would push the market like a whole cent myself. Yeah. And they're like, what are you doing, man? And I'm like, I've got it. Yeah, I know exactly what's happening here. And they're like, everyone's standing back going, holy shit. And then boom, it happens. And they're like, how did you know that? It's like, what? That's the thing, man. It's like when you understand anything, you believe in yourself, you can do it.
100%.
Right? And what I mean by that is back yourself. You've got to be able to back yourself and go, this is the right decision right now. Yeah. And how does that work? It works because the practice is the plan that goes with that. Yeah. So it's like having someone else with you. You're like a little person on your shoulder. Yeah. Hit the market now, sell, and then the plan jumps on and goes, boom. We put the plan overlay the situation. So it might look like there's no control, but there's absolute control. Yeah. And the other thing is, if you get it wrong, this is the best part about mental resilience is if you get it wrong, assess the situation. Did you make a mistake with your judgment call, or did the market just discombobulate? Yeah. And that's what people don't do. So a lot of the times I lost money, it was discombobulation. Yeah. And what that would do, if I didn't recognise that, I would go and change my whole plan, my approach. I'd lose confidence in what I was doing. But I would look at it and go, like, everything was right there. Everything I did was 100% right. But you know what? Someone made a comment over here, like whether it's the US head of the central bank, that changed the movement. And I didn't see it. You know? We've got all the in front of us, and sometimes you miss something and you're like, what happened? This thing's going back up. Yeah. And then you will know in 30 seconds because you're getting hammered.
Yeah.
But the plan will just take you out. And that's the other part, is having the discipline to take the loss.
Yeah,
that is the key.
And also, like, the responsibility to say, like, it was my fault. I didn't, like, there's something that I missed. Doesn't matter how small it is. If the plan is set and you miss one small piece of hair in the system, things can go shit.
Yeah, so that's it. You've got to own everything. So you can only do that, and you can't keep owning losses if you're not learning from them. So, like, I used to tell all my young guys and all the guys in the team, when I look at a trading opportunity, if I've lost money, I will look at it and go, would I do the same thing again? And I'll analyse it and go, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And they're like, but you lost. It's like, I didn't lose because I got it wrong. The market got turned on me. And it was because of a different reason.
Yep.
So with that, you just become so mentally tough that you've got a great plan, you believe in yourself, then you're just a mercenary. You're looking for opportunities to put the trade into play, and then you just stick with it.
Yep.
Right? So that's the key to it, right? And psychologically, I tell you what, the guys who jump up and down and tell everyone how much money they make, they aren't making that much money, and they are losers, and they won't be successful.
Yeah.
This is about modesty. So, 35 years, this is the hard part. I don't know, we're sort of trying to tell people that you make money and stuff. It's one thing in the banks that we were trained not to do is talk about it too much, because it's like karma, right? The bigger you try and play up stuff, I'm the best trader in the world. It's like we had a guy in London who used to do that, and he used to always get crushed, and it was like, just don't wish for bad things. So you just have a plan, understand your capital, stick to the decision, let the market do the work.
Do your work and stay quiet, basically.
Well, just be modest and and appreciate it. But, you celebrate the wins and you absorb the losses, but don't start taking photos of Lambos and all that sort of stuff.
And Rolexes and all that. No, I've got you there, Brad. I've got you. Okay, we've got another question over here. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received, and how has it influenced your approach to trading and life?
Well, I guess I sort of probably touched on it just there. It's like believing in yourself, but the biggest lesson I learned from trading was take the first loss.
Yeah.
Take and this can be hard for people because you're dealing with your own cash.
Yeah.
Take the loss. So if it hits your plan and you're sitting there and you think, I should be out now, you should be out. Right? Because you live to trade another day.
Yep.
And this is very important in the banks where we had guys sticking tickets in their cupboard, right? They were like, wasn't me. Like, everything's videoed, recorded. And they're like, dude, you've just lost 250 grand there on a trade that's in the bottom of your drawer, right? And they're like, so you can't, it changes everything, right? Yeah. Trading is about longevity. So the biggest piece of advice I'd say to people is, get your plan, believe in it. If it hits your loss, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But the next trade is the good one. So the other part is to connect to that is you need a short memory.
Yeah.
Right? Don't dwell on losses. Yeah. And actually don't even dwell on the wins. Like with the wins, yes, what you need to do is get the emotion out. Yes, unreal. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's it. Then you come back to reality and you go, all right, okay. So where's the next trade? Because the job is never done.
Yep. 100%.
Right? So you've got to flush out the emotions as quickly as possible. Forget about the losing trades. Have a look. Did I make the wrong decision, or was it the market? And move on. This is all about moving forward. If you get stuck in the emotional loss, you are not going anywhere. Your decisions, you don't understand this, but your decisions will not be pure. Yeah. They will not be objective. Yeah. You need to be as possible. So if you're sitting there subjective going, oh shit, I always lose money, which I see a lot of traders like this.
Yeah.
And it's because they've never had knowledge and understanding and a trade plan and capital management. You put all those things together, you are a robust trading machine.
Yep.
Then with experience, the only thing I can't teach people is endurance, emotional control. That comes with experience.
Yes.
But I can show you how to get to that level with the plan and the knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. So best piece of advice is like, and this goes with life, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And actually, and what you'll become, the better trader you become, you will become very good at making decisions.
Yeah.
Clinical decisions in general life.
Yeah.
You know, relationships, what you're doing in and out of things. You just become people think you're an egomaniac, but it's like, no, I'm actually just really confident in everything. Yes. And if I don't, we'll stand back. But this game needs that, because it's all about psychology.
100%. And I think also another thing is, like, obviously the right and the correct education. And that's one thing that I like obviously see with your business and your company. What's so amazing is there's a section for each level of trading. So a lot of times, like, obviously you come from an institutional bank trading background, but a lot of guys, retail traders that's watching this now, they maybe did a course over here, did a course over there, or they went on baby pips or something, like tried to learn themselves. And I think the one thing is, what sets you apart is there's a section for wherever you are in your journey. And that's something that's missing in the industry. Like, sometimes people get so bombarded with materials that they can't fit the pieces. But it's good to have, like, okay, I'm a beginner, let me get the foundational work ready to start making money. Or I'm an intermediate trader, let me take my beginner knowledge and level it up to make even more money. Or I'm a pro trader, let me play with the big players, you know. So
yeah, and you can't expect anyone to sort of pick up, 35 years of experience in one course, right? So we did stagger because we didn't want it to be too overwhelming. The most important thing to me was give some people something tangible that they can work with, and that's making money as quickly as possible. And so once you understand that and you get that sort of rush of, okay, this is great, this works, then you can start building more knowledge on top to make your decisions even better. Right. So 100%. It's, and people have said, oh, this is really good. It's taken me 15 years to develop this. So it's not like, this is not you hear it from like a lot of music bands, right? They're like, oh, you guys are so good. This is, you've just come out of nowhere. Oh no, we've been grafting for 15 or 20 years.
That's true.
And finally a song hits. So, I think this is what we need to do, or what I need to do, is get the business out there so people understand there's something real and tangible that they can get their hands on. They can start making money, and we can take it to whatever level they want to.
100%.
And that's my whole focus is developing the best trading community, not just the trading community.
The best.
That I can put my hand on my heart and go, you know what? I've looked after everyone, and all these guys predominantly make money consistently.
Brad, the last question before we say goodbye is, for someone watching who is on the fence about starting their trading journey, what would you say to inspire them to take that first step?
Okay, so there is money in the market, and there is low hanging fruit in the market that you can get your hands on. Now, to be successful, you just need to commit to structure and process. Right? That's what our course does. It gives you structure and process, so you understand how the markets work and the process to execute the trades, and that's it. Now, there's a lot of crap out there in the World Wide Web. What you need to know is there is reality, there is an opportunity to have something real with a real trading community that has knowledge, experience, process, structure, and support. Right? If you really want to do this properly, and a lot of people do sincerely want to have a long-term career, and they'll do it right. So that's where it is. I'm not here showing you Lamborghinis and jumping up and down. I'm here to tell you that there is a real system. There's a real company that will take care of you, and this is the place to do it. 100%. So if you haven't got the belief, I'll give it to you. And that's through knowledge and experience and support.
Powerful. And then another thing for the viewers, We're going to do this every week. We're going to do this. We're going to ask Brad some questions. If you've got a question, you can add it in the comment section, and we can cover that in the next sections as well. But we're going to go through the journey, show some things, go deeper into specific topics of trading and your experience. So I'm excited. Thanks so much, Brad.
Awesome, Sharks. Catch you later, mate.
Cool, man. Have a good one. Cheers.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Bye.